Hi everyone, before the previous recitation, we have already covered the JavaScript and HTML. From this recitation, we would like to introduce the spreadsheets and the software we use for building up spreadsheets is Microsoft Excel. So I have already opened this software. Okay. So now we can come to our first part, which is to introduce the Excel environment. So the first function is about cell pointer. So if we want to just select one specific cell, like C8, so we can just click on this cell to select it. And if we want to move to different cells, and we can just click on different cells. And also we can use the page down, page up, left and right, the 4 buttons on your keyboard to move like this. And also we can just use the enter or shift plus enter buttons to go up and go down. Go down and go up. Okay. So this is the first part about cell pointer. And also I would like to talk about the positions for the cells. So the position for cell is has 2 components. First is the number of rows, and second is the number of columns. For this one, it is located in row 9 and column C. So it is so the place for this cell is C9. So the first is column, next is row, and it's C9. Okay, and also up the menu bar, you can just explore by yourself, and we will just cover the important tools in the next few recitations. And for the edit line, for example, so how to insert the data into our cell. So the first way is to double click on this. Double click on the cell and you can just type something. And the second job is to first click on this cell to select it. And also in this area, you can see the edit line. Sorry, it's a formula bar. And you can just write something on the formula bar, like hello. Sorry. Hello. Okay, so this is the second way is to just edit on the formula bar. So the edit line is here on the boundaries of the rows or columns. You can see the edit line. With the edit line, you can just change the width of the column or the height of the rows. Okay, so this is the edit line. And after this, okay, we can talk about the formatting toolbar. And if you just double click on the cell, you can see the one choice is format cells, and you can see something right here, and we will talk about this menu later. And about the sheet tabs is right here at the bottom of this page, because in one like workbook of the Excel software, we will have several sheets like sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and you can just click on different spreadsheet to change from one spreadsheet to another spreadsheet. Okay, so this is the first part. And sometimes if you just open this software, the first job is to just create a blank workbook. So you can just create the blank workbook to start on. Okay. So after this, we would like to talk about how to enter the data. So we have already covered 2 ways. So for one specific cell, you have 2 methods. First is to double click, and next is to just use the formula bar. Okay. So for example, sometimes we want to just insert a series of data like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and for convenience, if we don't want to just insert one by one until 15, so how to do this? You can use a function which is called autofill, and with autofill you can just add the number automatically. The autofill is pretty easy to use. For example, you can just insert some the first one, 2, and then select 1 and 2 together and put your mouse on the right bottom corner, and the mouse will be turned into a crossing, and click the crossing and drag to the value you want. You can see if you stop right here is 12 and you stop right here is 15. So we just stop right here. So the autofill is pretty strong. So for example, if we want the interval to be 2, which is 1, 3, 5, and next is 7, so autofill can also achieve this goal. So and also autofill can just autofill the months, like from January to yeah, it's from January to December, and next we will have the stem period. And sometimes what we want is different. What we want is to copy a series of data, like 1 to 3, and after 1 to 3 is also three numbers 1 to 3, and after it is also 1 to 3. So how to achieve this? So first we can just insert 1 to 3, and we select these 3 cells together, and we need to press Control. And when we press Control at the same time, we use autofill, and you can just copy a series of data. Okay, so that's it. Okay, for the next part, we would like to just talk about doing calculations with formulas and building functions. So how to do calculations with formulas? For example, we have a series of data like 2, 5, and 1. So in the cell for A4, we want to just calculate the sum of these 3 numbers. So how to achieve this? So we need to use a formula. And the formula must start with the equal sign. So first we enter the equal, otherwise they will be treated as data. And we have 2 ways to insert the formula. First is to just enter the formula. So if we remember it, the formula, the function is sum. And second type is to just second method is to just click the functions. So it's within the home tab, and right here you can see a sigma here, and we have a lot of functions. But I really recommend that you can remember the basic functions formula. Like for this one, I can use sum. And after sum, we need to select the operand. We need to select the area we want to compute on. So we can use the mouse to select the area. So it's from A1 to A3. And also we can just insert one by one. So the first type is A1, A2, and A3. And if the area is pretty large and we insert one by one is not convenient, we can also use we don't need to use the comma as separation. We can use columns, and on the left of the column is the start, on the right of the column is the end, like A1 to A3. And after this, we can press tab, and it is computed as 8. Okay. And also, we can just use autofill to just fill in them. Like for the 2, 3, 1, the total is 6. Like, so this is the usage of total fill. Oh, sorry, autofill. Okay. Okay, so next part is about the absolute reference. So sometimes what we want to do is a little bit different. So we don't want to just compute the sum of each column. So what we want to compute is something different. So from this one is from A1 to A3. And for the next column is also, I want to change it to A1 to B3. And for next column is also A1 to B3, or to C3. And next column is A1 to D3. So what we want to do is to fix the start position cell, which is A1. So what we need to use here is the absolute reference. So we need to just add $2 symbol right here, before A and also before 1. And we just press tab. So next we use the autofill, and it's very interesting that this already be changed. So if we double click this one, we can see the selected area is from A1 to B3. And for this one is from A1 to C3. So for the fourth computation is from A1 to D3. So this is the absolute reference, which means that when we use autofill, the position we just absolutely referenced will not be changed when we use the autofill. So sometimes what we want to present is not the computation results. Otherwise, it will be the formulas, which means that we want to present formulas to our audience. We can just click the formulas tab, and right here you can see our choice is show formulas. If we click this one, it will be very interesting. So the spreadsheet will just present the formula rather than the computation result using this formula. So this is the usage of show formulas. Okay, so we redo this. And the next part is about inserting rows, cells, columns, and deleting them. So it's pretty easy. So first part is about how to select one specific cell. It's pretty easy. You can just click the column you want to select, like click E, click D, click C, or click the row number, like 5, 7. And once we click this D, and you can see within the home tab, and there is a choice. There is a button called insert, and you can just insert the sheet columns, and which means that before the selected column E, we just before it we just enter a new column, and for the rows it's also the same. You can see the insert function, insert button, and you can insert the sheet rows. And if you don't want to use this one, you can just click on the column character and click delete. So this is the way of deleting. Okay, so sometimes we will just enter a pretty long number, and if we just use a pretty small size for this long number, and it will just present three strange symbols. So these three strange symbols is to warning you your size is not enough to present your result. So you need to use the add line to just increase the size for one specific column or row. Okay. So this is our first part. Okay. Now we need to do our second task. So our second task will start from an initial spreadsheet, and this spreadsheet is located in Canvas files. And first we can click Recitation Information folder, and next we click the folder which is called Weizhi Wang, which is my folder. Okay, so within this folder, you can see a file which is called example.xlsx, and you can just click this and click download, and the download will start automatically. And once the download is finished, you can just double click this one. Okay, so our next job is to do something on this spreadsheet. Okay, so our first task is to add the title for this spreadsheet, and our title should be example 1, payroll statement. And after entering this one, we just want to merge several cells, and we want to just merge the cells from A1 to I1. So we select this area and click the button here, which is called merge and center. The functionality of this button is to combine and center the contents of the selected cells in the new larger cell. So we click this one, and it's obvious that we have merged the cells from A1 to I1 successfully, and our title is being presented in the center of this long cell. Okay, so the first job is to just add the month, January, and autofill to August. Okay, so this is the first job, and next to compute the commission. So the commission should be equal to salary times 50%. Okay. So this one should be equal to salary. So for January, salary is located in B5 and times 50%. Okay. And also you can use the autofill. We can double check. So for April, it's B8 times 50% is correct. And for overtime, it's all the same. So you can just use autofill. Okay, so mortgage payment. So the mortgage payment should be equal to the sum of salary, commission, and overtime, and then you need to multiply this by mortgage rate. The mortgage rate is located right here, which is 80%. So it should be sum. Okay, we can use the basic. We can use sum B5 to D5, right? And times the mortgage rate. So the mortgage rate is on A16, right? A16. And we can use a double click, or we can use autofill. But it's strange, the result has been changed to 0. So why this has been cost because we don't use the absolute reference, right? So we use autofill, and A16 will be changed to A17, and for this one is even is A20. So we need to use the absolute reference. So A16 is being fixed. And next we use autofill. Okay, it's successful. Okay, parent form. Parent form should be equal to salary price over time times 20%. So salary is B5 times overtime is D5 and times 25%. And also with autofill. And next is total deductions. So total deduction should be equal to mortgage payment plus parent fund. Mortgage payment is E5 plus F5 and autofill. So next is total pay. Total pay should be equal to sum of B5 to D5, which is a sum of it should be the sum of salary, commission, and overtime. This is a total salary. This is a total pay. Okay. And also we need to compute the total net pay. And we add a new column. The column title is net pay. And this one should be equal to total pay minus total deductions. Total pay minus total deductions. Okay. And the result should be also autofill. So now we want to just compute the column totals for all the months. Like we want to just compute the totals salary for 8 months from January to August. So this is sum of this area, right? From B5 to B12 and press tab. And also we can use autofill to compute the other items. We can double click to check. So for overtime for 8 months is D5 to D12. Okay, so the next job is to compute the average for total pay. So it is average. And the selected area is the total pay for 8 months is H5 to H12. And for this one, the average is also the same. Average for 8 months. Average total net pay is I5 to I12. Okay. So till now, I think we have already covered all the computations. So now we have some additional operations for the formatting and structure. So our first task is to just change or rename the spreadsheet. So for this spreadsheet, we use the default name is sheet 1. We double click to change it as payroll. Okay, and press tab to set it. And also you can just use the show formulas, and also you can close the show formulas. Also, you can just edit the styles for the title, like increase the font size and set some colors. Okay. And next one is what we have talked before is the format of the cells. We right click on the selected area and we can click the format cells. So we can select the different categories to present our values, including general or number and the current event date. So we use the current here. We want to make it as something with dollar symbol. So we select the dollar and we make the decimal places equal to 2. We click OK. So it's clear that the value for conversion has been changed to current format. So this is the cell formatting. So next one is pretty interesting. It's about conditionally format table. So for example, what we want to do here is very interesting. Like for this one, for mortgage payment, if we want to just present or highlight all the items which is greater than the mortgage payment in February, which is 6,993. So how to do this? So within the home tab, you can see button is conditional formatting. Click this one, click highlight cell rules, and click greater than. So you can just choose this, which is E6, and the format is with light red field with dark red text, and click OK. And it's very interesting that for our selected areas, if the item is larger than the market payment in February, which is E6, and it will be presented with red field color. Okay, so I believe this is all for our recitation 10 and the record. The recitation 10's record question is pretty simple. So what will be the exam? What is the exam number for next week? So it's exam 2, right? So we would like to conduct the exam 2 for next week. So let me repeat once again. The question is which exam we would like to or we plan to conduct next week. It's exam 2. Okay, bye.